Hi everyone, Nick Credicos here. If you're watching this, you're in my exclusive group. So for all of my new members, welcome, and the pre-existing members, welcome back. We're doing the Jolly Wreath today. Let me just make sure I'm live in the right group. Just give me 1 second. Yep. Alright, so we are. Perfect. Let me just mute my computer. So as you guys come in, just let me know that you guys can see me all right. Hi, Carol. So like I said before, this is not going to be a large wreath. I know a lot of you guys don't sell, so if you don't sell, this doesn't pertain to you, but I do have a lot of members that do sell, and one of the biggest things I recommend and advocate is that you guys have different price points. So this wreath's going to be a little smaller, and, you're obviously not going to charge as much as, the 24-inch wreaths. So this is good for, different price points. But if you are just making this to keep, feel free to substitute, the different ribbons, the signs. If you don't want to use the wire ornaments, you don't have to. If you want to use more glitzy and expensive things and to bulk up this wreath, by all means. But real quick, I just want to show you guys the different colors. So I have like 6 colors of the Snowball mesh. I have white. I have this pink, which we'll be using in a breast cancer wreath. I have like a light baby blue and a lime green, which are already in wreaths. So if you've seen me creating the elf wreath, that was the lime green Snowball mesh. Hi. Hi, everyone. So, I gave you guys all the item numbers for this, but I'll just tell you guys what this one is again. This one's XX167824. And as you can see, it's not a large wreath, but, it does make a nice size wreath. So I do have a lot of messages on my Etsy account asking if I make smaller wreaths, just because people like to put them on cabinet doors and smaller, bathroom doors, and they don't want huge wreaths, so this is a perfect size for that. So what I did already, just to save some time, is I already fluffed out the twist ties, the pencil twist ties. So when they come, they're going to just be like that, and what you're going to want to do is separate them. I like to do this beforehand just to make it easier for myself. Hi. So I recommend you guys do that as well. And we're going to be working with the Wanted Jolly Men Bearing gift sign. They have a bunch of different signs, different sayings for the same size. So if you wanted to use a different sign, feel free to. We also are using the polka dot ribbon, but it's glittered. So this was a couple dollars more than just the regular polka dot ribbon, but it does match the sign better because both have glitter. So I did choose this one. And we also chose this one. We'll determine if we want to use the thicker side or the thinner side once we add the ribbons. And this one was out last week, but I believe it's back in stock. If not, you can find similar ones if you want to use a candy cane print or just a solid red and a solid white. That will work. But those are the 3 ribbons. So this is going to be a nice, simple, cheap, inexpensive wreath. I believe you could make, over 2 wreaths with just the mesh alone, It doesn't take much mesh at all. Same with the ribbons. You should be able to squeeze 2 wreaths out of this. But even the wire balls, we're not going to be using all of them. I don't think so, at least. And, it's really inexpensive to make this wreath. Hi, you guys. Alright, I'm just refreshing to make sure I'm not missing anything. Alright. So what I did was I pre-cut the mesh pieces into 15-inch strips. If you have a pen and paper or you just want to write that down right now, it's 15 inches. I will have the measurements posted in the description of this video. And when the video gets posted to the private YouTube link, the item links will be posted in that. But if you just want to write it down now, just so you don't forget, it is 15 inches long. Christina, I bought all of the supplies for 3 wreaths and then a few other wreaths, so I can't give you the exact amount, but when you go to the materials list, which is a Google Doc file, actually, with all the links, once you add it all to the cart, it'll be able to tell you. But I'm thinking, I think this was like $3.50. The sign was like $3.50. The mesh was $5.50, but we're only using half. This one, I believe, was around $5. The other one was about $3.50, I believe, and I think the other one was around $3.50 or $4 as well. So pretty inexpensive. So Teresa, what I recommend you do is cut a sample piece, just eyeball it, see if you like it. So before you even cut the roll, so here's some leftover mesh. Before you even cut the roll, you could just create a simple ruffle and see if that's the length you want. Or you could always try a piece and see if it's, long enough. And if not, you could add that to the bottom and bulk it up with a longer piece on top. But, always just try. I do the same thing. I'm not 100% certain whenever I'm cutting my mesh. So I do a sample piece. I do like the Snowball mesh too. It does give nice dimension and texture. So what we're going to do is the ruffle technique for this one as well. I was going to do the poof method, but the sign is small, so I want it to be able to sit in the middle without any gaps for it to fall through. So we're going to do the ruffle technique, and it does come out cute. I have made one. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them now. That's why I like doing the live videos. It doesn't necessarily have to be about this wreath, even though I do like you guys to talk about what we're making right now. But if you have a question on the last tutorial we did, feel free to ask. So now what I'm doing is I'm ruffling it. So if you guys have seen my burlap tutorial or the tutorial we did last week, we are gathering the mesh in the center. So what's nice about the snowball mesh, which we didn't work with last week, is that you could just follow the middle line of the snowball and just try to keep that even. And if you do that, you got a nice even ruffle. So just follow one of the strips in the middle with the snowball, and you should get a perfect ruffle. Thank you. So Teresa, some people use soldering irons or wood burning picks to cut the larger mesh rolls in half. I personally would rather just go out and buy another roll. I think that is very time consuming, and it's not a guarantee that the mesh will stay. You know what I mean? When you cut a 21-inch roll of mesh, it's going to fray. But, the wood burning tool, it does melt the seam. But, it does seem to fall apart. Hi. So now what I'm doing is I'm adding that ruffle exactly where I pinched in the middle to the wreath. And all I'm doing is I'm just doing one simple twist. That's it. And we're going to do one of those for each and every single twist tie that you see. So again, to ruffle, it makes it very easy when working with the snowball mesh, because you have, I don't know how well you guys can see that, so I'm just put my arm in it. It has the snowball strands of cotton going through. So just find one that's in the middle, which is this one, and just go off of that to make the ruffle. So as long as you gather right where that piece is, you have a even ruffle. Hi. Yep, so awesome to see you twice in one day, Karen, I know. 2 lives in one day. No power still, but I have Wi-Fi with a generator at least. Awesome. I'm glad you're safe, Pam. Alright, so continue on with this. So like I said before, you do not have to work with the red. You could work with the white, or you could substitute all of the stuff you see with a different color. They come in, I think, like 6 or 7 colors. So again, just gather where the center piece of the snowball mesh is, the snowball cotton, and add one to each twist tie. I'm just doing one twist for now. We are adding the ribbons on top. Hi. So, I believe next week, midweek, I will be doing a tutorial with the 21-inch mesh. For those of you that wanted to see it, I believe it will be either a fall or Christmas wreath as well. So I hope you guys are able to tune in someday next week. And if not, as always, the videos will be posted. And I will have a supply list for tomorrow's tutorial. I am doing a tutorial tomorrow on a half wreath, a half fall wreath. It's going to be a floral wreath. Hi, Claudia. Thanks, Paula. Yep, I was on Home Talk earlier. This is not Home Talk. This is the private group. So I just cut the tag off. I recommend you guys do the same. Thank you. Yep. So, Sandy, if you want to prepare, or for the rest of you guys, if you guys want to prepare for tomorrow, I will have the material list posted tonight. You know, it's just going to take a few simple materials, but we're going to be working with some ficus leaves and some ferns and some fall flowers. And if you want to pick up some fall leaves, you know, you could substitute those as well. Yep, Debbie, you heard that correct. I will be doing home talk on Saturday from here on out. Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So add 1 ruffle to each twist tie. My school starts Monday. Yep, Crystal, no problem at all, because the video will be posted and you'll be able to watch it over and over again. So for those of you that couldn't tune in on Fridays, I will be doing them from Saturdays from now on. So again, just keep placing 1 in each. And similar to the wreath we did last week, if you wanted to alternate colors, so if you want to do 1 white and then 1 red, that would be kind of cool. Or a lime green and a red, that would be fun too. Yep, Monday. So I call them bow ties. They're typically called ruffles, but I call them bow ties, and they're basically the same thing. So it's just a preference on whatever you want to call them. But it's basically the same method that we do with the grapevine. So if you guys have seen my grapevine wreaths, we're doing the same thing where we're just gathering it together evenly. Hi, Damon. Sorry, what size frame did you start with? So I believe this was a 10 to 15 inch frame. I think that's what it was called. So the material list is posted. So as soon as you just click that link, you will have all the links to the craft outlet shop with the materials we're using exactly in this project. But you could also do this method with the 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath. I do think these work wreaths are a little bit better quality. You know, none of the welds have seemed to be broken on any of these wreaths, and the twist ties are a lot stronger than pipe cleaners. And I personally do not cut these if they're not super long. I know some people cut them. I just leave them. I think they add a little interest, but I would not leave pipe cleaners. I think pipe cleaners showing are kind of tacky personally. But these pre-made forms, I usually leave the twist ties. So again, just keep gathering it down the center. Yep, I love this mesh too. Okay. Alright, 1 more piece. It does make it so much easier, especially when you're making a lot of wreaths. I do not mind spending the extra few dollars here and there for the work frame. Especially since, you know, when you buy Dollar Tree frames, you have to weed through the good ones and the bad ones. And when you guys are working on a smaller scale, you could just walk in the store and pick up 1 or 2. You know, see if they're broken. But when I buy them by the case. And usually, typically, between 8 and 10 of the frames, the 25 frames, are broken per case. I don't know why. That's just the way it works for me. And I don't like doing that, so. I do like the ruffle method, too. We're going to be doing the 21-inch roll. The the poof method mid next week, I believe. I'll give you guys the exact date once I know exactly when we'll be doing it. But we're also going to be doing the poof method with smaller curls within it. Hi. Alright, so next we're going to work with some ribbons. These ribbons are 16 inches long, and we're going to add 1 to each. And this is going to be similar to the tutorial we did last week, in the fact that we're going to create single loop bows like this and alternate them. So we're going to work with 1 of each color. Where's the other color? Here's the other color. And if they are ever out of stock, just find a substitute. You guys just have to let me know, because I already purchased the materials in advance. So somebody said this was out of stock. By the time I found a substitute, it was back in stock. But if they are out of stock, you know, just do a little shopping, see what you like. So what we're going to do, is create a loop. I'll tell you guys how long the loop is. So it's about 7 inches. Think of it like a Tootsie Roll like this, and then you're going to gather it together. And you're going to have a single loop with 2 tails. Just like that. And you're going to take your next color. So this doesn't really matter. It's whatever color you want to show on top. I want this one to show on top just so I can see it the most with the sign. So we're going to place this one on top. But the other two, you could just, mix match. It really doesn't matter. So again, create a rough 7-inch loop. And these pieces are 16 inches long. All 3 colors are. And what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 of them and alternate them just like this. So that you have 2 tails with 1 bow, 1 loop, and then 2 tails with 1 loop like that. And then you're going to take your third piece. So the loops don't have to be exact. So I say roughly 7 inches. You can make them a little smaller. You can make them a little longer. So like this. And then you're going to alternate it. So you're going to have 2 loops with 2 tails, and then 1 loop with 4 tails. Debbie, I believe we'll be doing that next Friday. And then you're going to go to your wreath and just simply place it on top. We're not going to untwist these ones. Just like that. And then don't even fluff it yet, you guys. We'll fluff it after. But go ahead and create all of the little bows for each poof, each twist tie. So again, roughly 7 inches. I'm just measuring it just because I've made so many of them. I know roughly the size to make them. But like I said before, the 2 bottom colors really doesn't matter. So here what I'm doing actually, you see this side is the thinner stripe, and this side's the thicker stripe. And honestly, I think that'll be kind of cool, you guys, once we add it to every other twist. So again, roughly 7-inch loops. Alternate them so that you have 2 tails and 1 loop on either side. And I'm just placing them right on top. We're not placing them side by side. Right on top of each other, just like that. And then I'm doing the polka dot right on top of that one. And then don't untwist it, just place it right on top. And I had a question, I got an email actually wondering if it matters if we start all in the center or all in the bottom, and it really doesn't matter because you're going to be ending up adding one set of 3 ribbons to each and every single twist tie. So as long as each one has one, you are all set. So it really doesn't matter if you start at the top or the bottom or alternate, because every single one will end up getting some ribbon. Hi Valerie. So again, roughly a 6-inch loop or 7-inch loop, 6 to 7 inches. So this one's going to go on top. And then, as you can see, we're doing this one first, this one second, and then we're going to stick this one underneath. So as you can see, as long as you got 3 loops, you are all set. Just like that. So it really doesn't matter the order as long as this one's on top. And then go to your wreath and place it inside, just like that. Hi Shannon. Hi Debbie. Rough 6 to 7-inch bow, loop. Alternate them so that you have 2 tails with 1 loop. And then place this one on top. Hi Jen. So I really like adding my ribbons like this. I love to have a single loop of each color. And if you don't want to have that, what you could do is just cut your ribbon slightly shorter. So I would say about 10 inches long for this, and then just pinch it in the middle and then place it in. But since we are doing the loop, we're going to continue doing that throughout the whole wreath. Roughly 7-inch bow, loop, placed right on top. So again, it really doesn't matter which twist you stick it in, as long as each and every single twist gets one. Welcome, Dorothy. So again, for all of you new members, and the old members have heard this 100 times, whenever we do videos like this, I do download them to my phone, and then I post them to a private YouTube link, in which I upload to YouTube, and only you guys with the link can see it, and then you guys can watch this video forever. In the meantime, it is posted in the group, and you guys can ask whatever questions you want in the comment section of this video, and I will answer them. So if you ever can't make it, I know some people can't make this one tonight, and it really doesn't matter because, you know, you guys will see the video at whenever you guys can see it. And then if you guys have any questions then, you know, just post them in the comment section and we'll go back and answer them. So for those of you that are just tuning in, we're making single loop ribbons, and from here, I'll show you guys. From here to here, it's about 6 to 7 inches. We're gathering it together, and then we have a single loop with 2 tails, like that. And this is how it's going to be displayed in the wreath once we add all of them. So, gather your 2 other colors on the bottom, and you're going to alternate them. So here's 2 individual ones. We're going to flip them, place them right on top of each other, not side to side. Take the third one, and place it on top. So that you have 4 tails with 1 loop, and then 2 loops with 1 tail. 1 set of 2 tails. And then we're placing one right on top of every single twist tie. Just like that. So, let's see. So Cinda, you aren't going to get the YouTube link until the end of the month, in which I upload all of the videos. So in the meantime, all these videos that you're watching, like the one you're watching right now, will be posted to the wall of this page. And if you ever want to look at one, you could just type in the search bar, you know, Jolly Wreath or Christmas tutorial, and this video will pop up along with the other Christmas tutorials. But then after the last video of the month, what I do is I upload all of them to YouTube, and I share the document with you guys. And you guys get to see the videos and the information forever. Yep. So again, there's 3 individual ribbons. In a total, there's 6 tails and 3 loops. And once we add 1 to each twist tie, what we're going to do is go back and fluff them. And I personally think fluffing is the most important part. I know I say that a lot, but I really can't stress that enough. I think it is the most important part of any wreath. So I'm not being too particular as to which side this ribbon's showing. I think both sides are fine. And since it matches the rest of the wreath, you really can't tell. But if something like that does bother you, you know, stick to one side. I love how small this wreath is, you guys. I think it's cute. Perfect size for being like a little door or a cabinet. Thanks for being so patient and kind, Nick. No problem. I mean, like I've said before, you guys are my priority. So if you guys have any questions and I do not answer them within, you know, a day or 2, let's say 2 days, I am not ignoring you. I probably just didn't see the message. So, you know, just say it again or tag me in it. But you guys are my priority, so if you guys ever need help, reach out to me. Thank you. Yep, Joy. That's right. But in the meantime, these videos are posted in the group, so you can watch them whenever until the end of the month when they go on YouTube. So when I say they go on YouTube, it's not, you know, the public YouTube. It's in a private YouTube account where only you guys with the link can view the wreath. So it's not for the public to see. It's only for you guys. But in the meantime, if you ever want to watch any of the stuff or see any of the information, it is posted in the group for the entire month. Yep, that's no problem at all. If your stuff doesn't arrive, you know, you can watch this video. So you're watching right now, so if you have any questions whatsoever while you're watching right now, you could just ask me. And once your materials come in, if you still have any questions while you're creating it, just reach out to me and I'll answer them. That's what I'm here for. Alright, so I believe this is the last twist. So as you can see, you guys, this is really quick to make. And it's very economical. Like I said before, it's not costing more than, I don't know, like $15 maybe. Once you divide everything out. Because we didn't use a whole roll of mesh. We can make 2 wreaths like this out of 1 roll of mesh. And, you know, the ribbons, I'm definitely sure we could at least get another one. Alright. But also, like I said before, make it your own. That is what I always recommend you guys do. Obviously, I gave you guys the exact materials to use, but while you're at Craft Outlet, you know, feel free to browse around, see if you like anything else. Just because I use this and I like this ribbon does not mean you guys necessarily love it. So find something that you love and use that. So this is how much ribbon we have left over. It should be enough for a whole other wreath. If not, you're definitely going to get at least 3/4 of another wreath. Let's see. So I would probably charge $45 for this once all is said and done. But I say between $40 and $45. That's what I'd recommend. That's definitely what I would charge. I mean, you know, the Snowball mesh isn't cheap and the ribbons aren't cheap. I mean, it's not so expensive to make. But, hey, you got to make some money off making these wreaths. Alright, so next I'm going to use my staple gun. If you guys do not have one of these, and if you don't have pipe cleaners, all you really have to do, since this sign is so light, all you really have to do is just take it, place it in the twist tie, and you're all set. You know? But since I have my staple gun and I want it to be more set in, I'm just going to fold the wire in the back like that. Take a pipe cleaner. See, I pulled out some red and some white. Fold it in half. As long as the pipe cleaners generally match the wreath, you are all set. I wouldn't pick a neon pink pipe cleaner to use on this wreath just in case it does show. I don't want to see a neon pink pipe cleaner. I worked with some mesh from Hobby Lobby and I don't like it very well. Is the mesh from Craft Outlet better quality than Hobby Lobby? Absolutely. I find it to be double the quality and basically like double the size. The rolls from Hobby Lobby, like the jute mesh, are like this big, and the Craft Outlet ones are huge. I mean, look at this. You go to Michael's, it's just so much thinner. I think the coverage is better, and I think it's more, you know, thick, more secure. You know, sometimes you get the metallic strands that are all over the place. I haven't found that with Craft Outlet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply 1 staple. Since this sign is super light, I'm not going to really do 3 staples like I usually do for my signs. I think this will definitely hold. And I'm going to do 1 to either side. Like that. Yeah, I love Craft Outlet too. So Craft Outlet also, once you spend the minimum, either $69 or $75, something along those lines, it is free shipping. So that's why I recommended you guys waited to see all 3 tutorials or purchase all 3 tutorials before going out and spending the money. Because, you know, this wasn't $75 worth of materials for this wreath. So now what I'm doing is I'm just pulling the ribbons back just a little bit. I'm not too worried about that right now because we're still going to have to adjust. And I'm going to feed the pipe cleaners through the mesh. I'm not going to pull back the mesh, just going right through the mesh. And then going around one of the wire pieces on the frame. So if you guys can see that, just one piece of the wire. Let me just pull it through real quick. Okay. So as you can see, we have it around the wire. And I'm just going to twist that lightly until we have the other side secured. Go to the other side. Do the same thing we just did to that one. Feed it through directly through the mesh. Do you do something to hide the back when you sell them? So what I do for this is I'm going to put my business card directly on top of the sign so that it hides the price tag. But for a wreath like this, there's no mess really. So I'm not worried about covering it with leaves like I do with my other wreaths. So again, go through the wire. And then pull tight. And now you can go back to the other side and adjust to make sure both sides are even. You see? Like that. So again, if you do not have this, you don't have to worry about that. Just simply place it on top. It's such a light sign that I'm not worried about that falling off. It's really light. Hi, no problem. Can't stay and watch, but will this be up tonight? I want to watch it later tonight. Yep, Tanya, this will be up tonight and for the remainder of the month, and then it'll be uploaded to a private YouTube account, and you can watch it forever. No problem, Karen. You can watch the replay. All right. So next, what I mean when I say I'll cover, here's another sign, because I thought the sign was really funny. What I would do is I would take my business card. I have one right here. And what I would do, I'll show you right now, actually. Do I have a scrap stick somewhere? Yep, I do. All right, so here's a stick from the Home Talk video that I did earlier. All I'm doing, I don't know if you guys can see, you can't, is I'm dibbling it into my hot glue skillet. Applying some hot glue. Just like that. I like to be generous with the card. It's not going to fall off, but I still like to add a good amount. And then place that directly over the price tag, just like that. Just press down a little bit. And that's what I do, you know, with my price tags, just so you can't see them. But I know a lot of you don't sell, so if I was you, I would just, and I didn't sell, I would just take it right off. Dana, if you emailed me today, I haven't been through my emails yet. I haven't had the chance. But I will check my email, and I will see your email, and I will send it to you. Awesome, Tanya. Yeah, I really think this wreath's cute. So next, to clean up the back of the wreath a little bit more, we're not going to have to do too much to this at all. I'm just going to be cutting the pipe cleaners off. Just like that. So I did make sure I twisted them well. I did 4 or 5 twists. Just cut them off like that. And this is how clean the back of the wreath is, you guys. Look at how clean that is. No sharp pieces sticking out. Perfect. So next what we're going to do is we're going to fluff. If you want to cut these off, you certainly can. I kind of think they're a little whimsical because, I don't know, I kind of like them, so I'm going to leave them. But if this is not your taste, you know, simply just snip them off a little shorter. But next what we're going to do is we're going to separate the tails. So just pull them with all your might away from each other. I don't really worry about them, you know, I don't really worry about mixing the colors. You know, if I have one next to each other, I don't try to find another one to put in between it. I don't really worry about that for this wreath, just because the red and the white blend so much that, you know, you really can't notice if you have 2 colors next to each other. But I do like to run my fingers through the loops and just open them up a little bit. What do you do with the broken work wreaths that you got? So that's a great question too. So every time you buy wreaths from Dollar Tree, whether you order a case or a single one, they always have the price tag. So I do take them back to the store. Thank you for answering that for me. How many inches is the finished one? So it's about 18 inches. So it's a perfect small little wreath. And if you have a huge front door, you know, do not order a small wreath. But I have a lot of people that, you know, have small doors or they want to put it on their cabinet. So this is a perfect size wreath for that. Or gifts too, you know, if you don't want to spend a fortune for a wreath or a big wreath for a gift, just simply make a small one, you guys. So again, what I'm doing is I'm just running my fingers through the loops, through the tails, just fluffing them out, putting my fingers inside of the loops and just opening them up a little bit. Okay. And do that to every single one. Exactly. So Cindy says this wreath size is perfect. I have lots of grandbabies. We'll do this for their bedroom door. Exactly. I think this size is perfect for, you know, smaller spaces. And you can put more of these in your house, you guys, you know. The big wreaths, they do take up a lot of space, but if you have a little wreath like this, you can place it everywhere. So like I said before, I'm not really worried about spacing the colors out. For a different wreath with different colors, I typically do like to alternate the colors. So if I have a tail next to each other that are the same, I would alternate it. For this, I'm not going to worry about that, just for the fact that the colors blend so nicely as it is. What does the sign say? So the sign says, wanted jolly men bearing gifts. Work decoration. Yep, perfect. A cubicle. You could hang this on a cubicle. You know, the fabric cubicle is how they have the dividers. You could use a paper clip to hang this, you guys. That's how light it is. And these ship well. So if you guys have seen the shipping video I did either last week or the week before in this group, I'm gonna use my 18 by 18 by 4 inch box. And for a wreath like this, it'll only be like $5 or $6 to ship because it's so light. That's the price I have found it'll typically cost to ship something so light like this. And it fits perfectly in the box, which is why I like that size. No problem. Where do you prefer to get larger wreaths from that don't already have tinsel ties? I don't really work with them all that much, but if I was going to get larger ones, you know, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, you know, the craft stores, they carry larger ones, like 18 inches. But when I'm making my own, I usually only make 14-inch ones on my own, just for the fact that I'm charging less for those wreaths, so I want to make as much profit as possible. But if I'm doing anything larger than 14 inches, if I'm using like a 18-inch frame or a 15-inch frame, I usually just use a work wreath instead of making it myself. Just for the fact too that when you buy larger wire wreaths, they tend to be more expensive. They're usually like $3 or $4, unless you have a 50% off. And you know, you can get a work wreath for, you know, $5 too. So I personally would rather spend the $2 more, if that, for a work wreath that already has the tinsel ties attached. So again, just continue throughout the wreath, pull out the pieces of ribbon. Nick, do you make hanger on back for people to hang? I do not. So for these, I actually haven't made a hanger for the back of the wreaths in forever, just because I use command strips, and even if you have a over-the-door wreath hanger, it just holds on to the wreath, you know. Just use the wire, the grapevine, the evergreen frame to your advantage. So I don't make hangers for my wreaths. But if I was to, for something like this, I would actually just use a pipe cleaner. You know, just fold it in half and tie it to the metal frame like that. And that's a perfect little hanger. So do you charge extra on your shipping than you pay for it? I do not charge any extra. It is whatever Etsy charges them. But I do sometimes add a $2.50 box fee or a $3 box fee for my wreaths. So for my $25 ones, I do add $2.50 to the wreath for the price of the box and the tape, and you know, a couple cents just for my time. But automatically Etsy charges a little bit more because they go off, I think, FedEx pricing, which tends to be a little more expensive instead of ordering it from Etsy. Because a lot of people don't order Etsy labels. I do. I have been having trouble with Etsy shipping and not sure how I've chosen the right shipping profile. It says Etsy calculate. Is that what I need for them to charge the customer? It is. Just make sure you type in, you know, your zip code. Yep, no problem, Karen. So all I'm doing right now is just going throughout and just simply pulling the loops apart and fluffing the loops and the tails. So think about this, you guys. If you worked with this, with the red and the white ribbon, how pretty would that be for Valentine's Day? And instead of wanted jolly men bearing gifts, you could do like, you know, a Valentine's Day heart or a sign for Valentine's Day. And that would be perfect. And, you know, since Valentine's Day, people don't like to spend too much money because it's, you know, just right after Christmas, a little while after Christmas. People are still recovering from all their Christmas spending. So, you know, this size is perfect, you know, for a more economical wreath. Carolyn, take a screenshot and send it to me and I'll be able to help you more. Send a screenshot of what you're seeing for the shipping profile and I'll be able to help you through it. So all I'm doing again is just running my fingers through the loops. I think if ribbons look awkward, your whole wreath looks awkward. So since it's wired, you know, you just want it to be as relaxed looking as possible. Or the white mesh would really make the ribbon pop. It would. You certainly could do white if you'd like. But if somebody messages you for a fundraising wreath, you know, sometimes I do donations, but sometimes people order, you know, breast cancer wreaths and stuff like that for me. So if they don't want to spend a fortune, all they have to do is request a smaller wreath, and something like this would be a great auction piece, this size wreath. You know, it's not so big. Carolyn, try messaging me it. I'll be able to check my messages just specifically for you. Or email me at nickseasonaldecor@gmail.com. Whichever you prefer. Because I do have to go through some of my messages because some people have messaged me from the group, and you know, I really don't like ignoring any of you guys. But you guys can just imagine what my inboxes look like. Both my personal page, which I don't do ties with my business to, and also my business page, which is why I like for you guys to email me, or in this special case, my inbox. But if at all possible, if you guys have any questions, email me. So again, going through each one and just making the ribbon not look awkward. And I think we're pretty much done for the most part. A couple pieces left. All right. So for Susan, this one, I'm just trying to make them kind of star out a little bit. I'm not trying to face them out towards me in this wreath. Once it goes on the wall, when I take pictures, you know, always you're going to have to adjust again and again and again. So if it's looking a little awkward, you know, you can just adjust it. But for this one, I'm not trying to make them stand out all that much. So the ribbons are 16 inches. The loops are between 6 and 7 inches. I like to give you guys a little bit of room for error, or, you know, just because it doesn't have to be exact, like I've said in the past. And the mesh was cut at 15 inches. I will have the measurements posted in the description. Alright. So this is how the wreath looks so far, you guys. Perfect size. I think it's adorable. And next, let's add some of these. I thought these would be a little less see-through when I ordered them, but I still think they're kind of cute, so we'll add a couple of them. Exactly, Debbie, so you're on the right track. That's what I do too. Christmas is... I'm not done Christmas decorating ever. I do it early. I did not use a 16 or 14 frame. I do have the material list posted. It was posted weeks ago on this page. The wreath already came with the ties. It was from Craft Outlet. I will pin the materials list in the comment section of this video with the measurements. So these I believe were like $2.50 each, which again is not a bad price for these really. And you know, you really can't see the red all that much through the camera, but in person it adds a cool dimension because it's kind of like a fun red. I don't know, I kind of like it. But what you could actually do, you guys, is just simply poke them into the twist ties like that, and then have them like jetting out a little bit, which is kind of fun, if you could see that, if that's the route you wanted to go. So I think we'll do some of those like that. I think that's kind of fun. Yep, so if you go to, well, even if you never see any of the videos, the file will be posted at the end of the month. And for those of you that are new members, if you do not, you know, acquire the file in time, just email me at nickseasonaldecor@gmail.com, and I will check your invoice, make sure you paid for this month, and I will send it your way. So it's not like once they're gone forever. You know, obviously I have them. So what I'm doing is I'm just simply feeding these into the tinsel tie and just twisting it around it. I think it kind of adds a cool dimension, you guys. Yep, Marilyn, no problem. The video will be posted. I did try to remind you guys just 45 minutes before. Thank you, Debbie. So, for those of you that aren't seeing what I'm doing right now, I'm just simply feeding the tinsel tie through the wire ball and twisting it. So, just like what I just said, just simply feeding it through. And it kind of adds a cool dimension. Yeah, I kind of like that. So I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but I will have the pictures posted for you guys, obviously. And you guys can see how whimsical they really are. So you can add as many as you want. If you want to use every single one, you can. If you don't, that's fine too. If you wanted to hot glue them in, you could do that. But all I'm doing is I'm just feeding it through the wire with the tinsel tie and just wrapping the tinsel tie around itself or around the wire once you find a good spot. You were such a bad influence. 2 weeks ago in my living room is filled with supplies from Dollar Tree, Joann's, and Michael's Hobby Lobby run this weekend. Now I need a bigger house. Hey, I am proud of that. People have been posting in this group and the other private group, you know, Nick's Seasonal Decor, the sharing group, of their Sam's Club runs, and they're like, I can't believe you did this to me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm proud that you're buying some ribbon. It took me a long time to go out and splurge, and I've regretted it because I always miss out on the deals, and I'm showing you guys the deals, and I hope that you guys don't miss out on them. So take advantage of it. A touch that others readers lack. Spent way too much on Sam's Club ribbon. You can never spend too much money on ribbon. So that is a false statement. All right. I'm thinking one more white one right here. Maybe red. You know what? We'll stick a red one here. And we should be done with these. Can't find my kitchen table anymore. Hey, that is good that you guys have that much supplies. Scored on the steel picks, 40% off. Awesome. Yep, for those of you that want to invest in a steel pick machine, Hobby Lobby carries them. My Hobby Lobby carries them for $1.99. And, you know, they always have a 40% off. So, I recommend you use that 40% off because it's there. And we always like to save money. And I recommend you guys try to save money as well. Alright. So, this is how it looks, you guys. Again, you're always going to have to constantly fluff. So once you hang this up on the door, instead of work with it on the table, you're going to want to fluff it again. But I don't know how well it'll show up on camera, but I do like the little wire balls. I did not stick one in every single one. You can if you'd like. You should definitely have enough. Yep, 6 of each, so you could do every other one with the color, but I don't think it needed it. If you feel like it does, add them. But again, you're going to hang it up on your door and adjust it accordingly. But I think it turned out really cute. Again, make it your own. So I have this sign, you guys. Let me just grab that real quick for you guys to show you. This came from Amazon. It says, Santa, I've been good. There's like 4 different variations of this sign that I purchased. They were like 4 for $6, I think, and they're tin. So let's say you didn't like that and you wanted a touch of gold. You could use this sign. Craft Outlet has a bunch of signs this size with different sayings. Hobby Lobby has signs similar to this. But I always recommend you guys make it your own. And let's say you didn't like these wire ornaments. You know, just use cheap dollar store plastic ornaments. You know, whatever you can find. Make it your own. It shows up well on camera, good. I will have the pictures posted shortly once I clean up a little bit and grab my laptop and have it charged. Yeah, it's a cold, rainy day here. Yep, the replay will be posted. Do you guys have any other questions while I can answer them real quick here? Because if so, you guys have me live. BJ's also carries wholesale nice ribbon. They are a little bit more pricey, and they have, you know, a limited supply of them. What did I cover my table with? This is like thick plastic. I don't know the millimeter size of this, but it is a thicker plastic. But you can just get a dollar store tablecloth. Staples, my staple gun. So these are 1/4 inch. So one of the members asked, what's the difference between heavy duty and like light duty? Is there a difference? I've never seen a heavy duty 1/4 inch staple or something along those lines. And this size is basically the same size as, you know, a regular staple gun. A staple, just a regular stapler that you use for papers. And I would never use that personally for my signs. I think those staples are very weak. So this is a 1/4 inch staple and it's, you know, kind of thick. So I like working with that. This is a little bit more pricier when it comes to the gun. This is an Arrow gun. Arrow Fastener Company is what it's called. And I used Arrow staplers because I believe you can only use Arrow staplers with this. And I really like it. So if you want to invest in one of these, I would get this brand. Obviously because I have it and I recommend it. But as long as you guys don't have any other questions, I think we are done with this tutorial. I think it came out successfully and I think it is very pretty. You know, perfect size for small spaces. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. The video, I sent you pictures of the Etsy profile. Let me know if this is what you wanted. Yep, Carolyn, so you don't want to collect shipping from your customers. You want to do it all together. No problem. So I am going to be planning a tutorial. I was shooting for tomorrow, but I do have a lot going on tomorrow, so it might have to be pushed back a day or so. But I will have the materials posted shortly, as in tonight, and you guys will be able to see what we're going to be using. But it's a quick tutorial, so we should be able to squeeze it tomorrow. What brand of glue do you use? I use AdTech. I bought 50 pounds from the company. It's up in Hampton, New Hampshire, so it's only like 20 minutes from me. I would recommend those. I love working with them. But yeah, we're going to have lots of other great tutorials this month, so all of the new members that are just watching, I have a lot in store for you guys. I just, this week and last week have just been hectic, so I haven't had time to really come on. But as, school starts and things slow down, I will be on a lot. You guys are probably going to get sick of seeing me. But, Christmas is my time. Fall is, my second biggest season, so I will have a lot of different videos to show you guys. Hampton Beach, yep, New Hampshire. But yeah, I thank you guys for watching this video, and I thank you guys for being in my group. I do appreciate it a lot. I really do. And like I said before, once you hang this up on the door, make sure you fluff it again. Like somebody said in this, yep, Hampton, New Hampshire. Thank you. We won't get sick of you. You guys are funny. So like I said before, you're going to have to fluff it again. I'm constantly fluffing my Christmas tree, my wreaths, the wreaths behind me that I don't even touch. They constantly get fluffed. And I hope you guys have a good night. And the video will be posted with the measurements in case you missed them. And you can watch the video for the entire month in this group. And then again, like I said, I will have it downloaded in a YouTube link. And you can watch that forever. So I hope you guys have a good night. And thank you guys for being in the group.